Jalen Carter will not have to serve a suspension after Spitgate last week. You know the story. Spit right on Dak Prescott, booted from the game, did not play. So the NFL has essentially ruled, well, he already served a one-game suspension because he didn't play in that game. He also has to forfeit last week's paycheck, $57,222. But that's it. That's it. Little slap on the wrist. Carter will be available this weekend. Eagles and Chiefs in Kansas City in a rematch of the Super Bowl. And I have to say, I am absolutely stunned here. I thought the NFL would have and should have come down much harder on Jalen Carter. Instead, they're like, just a little saliva.
Well, I mean, he did get suspended one full game, right? Because he didn't play at all in that game. But do we have any precedent for this? Like, it's such a weird thing because culturally, spitting on somebody is like almost the worst thing you can do. Yeah. But people have been suspended like, I don't know, 2 or 3 games for like actual felonies. So it's hard. It's like the NFL's wheel of punishment. You never know where it's going to land. So I have gotten out of the habit of trying to speculate what Roger Goodell is going to do because it feels like you never know.
I feel like the NFL blew this. The NFL blew it. Like, they talk a real big game all offseason. What do we hear about? Oh, we're going to stop unsportsmanlike conduct. They showed videos to each team. Troy Vincent, the NFL executive VP of football operations, at league meetings was telling coaches, was telling executives, watch out. We're going to have zero tolerance for behavior like this. And then this happens. They're like, we got some tolerance. We got a little tolerance. Like, you didn't play in that one game. That's good enough. But if you want to set a precedent and you want to let everyone know that you're serious about this, really serious, you got to do more than this. Even Carter's agent, Drew Rosenhaus, negotiated with the Eagles so the Eagles contractually can't punish him in the future as far as bonuses are concerned. Like, Jalen Carter is a hell of a football player, but what he did is completely disrespectful. And these Dak truthers out there, did you see Dak spit? I'm like, yeah, I saw him spit on the ground and not on Jalen Carter. It's different. It's totally different. Dak spit. I'm like, not on him, not on Jalen Carter. I mean, God, you ever think there's a topic or a subject where everyone's going to be on the right side? And it just never happens. There's always some people like, I don't know. I saw Dak. I think Dak should be suspended. Ridiculous. Jalen Carter deserved punishment, and the NFL just let him walk away.
Yeah, expect less. Expect less from like your fellow human beings. Because, Jenks, you're like, I think everybody should get this right. I think everybody should know the correct form of there and there, but they don't. And I also think that I could expect like whatever punishment the NFL is going to hand down. But again, it's the wheel of punishment. Like, I was trying to find something that would be like similar. Like, I was thinking of like, okay, what player might have done something like that? So I like looked up Ndamukong Suh. Remember that time he like stomped on Aaron Rodgers' leg? And initially he was fined and suspended 1 game, but then he appealed it and he was not suspended. Because here's the thing, that actually damaged somebody and it could have hurt Aaron Rodgers' career. Because at the end of the day, like, if you spit on somebody, it's incredibly disrespectful, but it's not going to hurt somebody. So, Jenks, do you think this should warrant the same suspension as like a dirty hit? Because obviously the damage for like a dirty hit, which also you say, okay, maybe the person didn't mean to do it. It is, the heat of the moment. It's a tough thing to do because there's no precedent.
There is, but there isn't. Like, there's no precedent. But the NFL made it a point to say this is something we're going to reinforce in a major way. There will be zero tolerance. This is the NFL talking, not me talking. The NFL said this is unacceptable. And then someone, before game 1 of the season, violates this policy. You have a clear chance to say, we told you we were serious, and they're not. This is just a bad example. We saw Brendan Bett from Florida spit on a USF player over the weekend. So I'm not saying it's becoming a thing, but people look to the league for leadership. If you're a college player, you're a high school player, and the NFL essentially said, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, you'll get suspended, but our bite isn't nearly what our bark is, which is, oh man, you better not do this. We'll make an example of you. No, they're not. They've already said they're not going to. And also, you can't tell me that the NFL didn't want Jalen Carter in the lineup this weekend, Eagles-Chiefs. Like, that's what I think it is. He already served his suspension. We got to have this guy, one of the best defenders in the game on the defensive line, in the game. I know he's not a quarterback or some glamour position. He's still a hell of a football player. They want him on the field, Eagles-Chiefs.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the wheel of punishment is different if you are a good player.
Yeah.
Because if he was a no-namer, if he was a special teams player, Roger Goodell would be like, oh, we really need to reinforce sportsmanship. He's going to be suspended 6 games. You're like, what? But this guy doesn't even play. So it is different if you are a star player in the league. It just is. I feel like we see this in the NBA too. And these guys know, Roger Goodell knows, Adam Silver knows, you protect your superstars. And Jalen Carter made a huge difference in that game by not being out there. It's the Eagles. This is one of the premier franchises in the NFL. You're reigning Super Bowl champs. So as much as they want to like enforce narratives about like, hey, we're going to really reinforce sportsmanship. No, you're not. At the end of the day, they want to make money.
No, totally. Like if Travis Kelce did this, they'd be like, hey, this guy, have you seen all the talking he's done during the offseason? I mean, he has a podcast. He was in Happy Gilmore too. I mean, he can't control all of the saliva that comes out of his mouth. Cut the guy some slack here. Give the guy a break. If you're a star, you're totally right. It would be different. It is different. But if you're a no-name, or you're some guy that not many of us are familiar with, you're a second stringer, you're a third stringer, then they probably would have dropped the hammer. You know, at the end of the day, they want the matchups. They want the eyeballs in place so that everybody is talking about the NFL. And look, we're talking about them right now because of their lack of punishment. Either way, the NFL wins.
Right. Well, I think the thing is like Jalen Carter gets away with things because he is so good. Because this is not the first like black mark on his resume. You know, obviously there was that car crash where people died. You know, and he was still drafted in the first round of the NFL draft. So like if you're sitting here saying, "Oh, I think spitting on somebody is going to derail his career," no, it was a car crash that killed people.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens when you're a star player. You sort of get the preferential treatment. People are willing to look the other way. You know, if you're the NFL, you go back and you look at that and you say, hey, this is kind of a disturbing pattern of behavior which we should not reinforce or behavior that maybe we should punish. They didn't do that. They don't care. It's a star-driven league. But I am stunned. I absolutely thought we're looking at least a couple games for Jalen Carter being suspended. The fact that he's already served, the fact that he's playing here in week 2 is just mind-blowing to me.
Well, like the NFL wants to do things like write sayings in the end zones. They don't want to actually do something. They want something that looks like they're doing something that's very easy, that they can just use some spray paint. It's like, oh, look at us. We're the best league. No, they don't care.